What up, you weirdos? Dave here, and I like knives. Here to talk to you today about the CRKT Directive. This blade is available in two different blade styles. This is the Tonto. I personally believe it's more of a reverse Tonto, but whatever. And a drop point version. I had availability of both, but I went with the Tonto because it seems like a more interesting blade style, just to me. So, all that's based on personal preference. This piece has a blade of a little bit less than 3 inches, a handle length of 5 inches, a width of a little bit less than 1.5, and a depth of about 1/2 inch. Straight up, not a huge fan. Put that out front. I do like the blade style. I do like kind of a sheep's foot, reverse Tonto. Not a Warncliffe. There's a little bit of a belly. But that style, kind of a Sweeny Todd, kind of a barber's razor. That's what it reminds me of whenever I pull it out. So aesthetically, I kind of like it. The blade is fine. The detent is very stiff, so it does take a little bit of extra finger strength that most flippers don't require to overcome that and actuate it. But in the end, you're putting so much pressure on it that it does flip fine. No thanks to the washers, which there's no way that you can see with my lighting setup. But take my word for it, they are very small compared to a blade of this size, which is part of the reason why on Wasted I have empty space, because there's so much space in there and none of it is used and none of it is full. The washers ought to be bigger so that they can put more pressure on the blade. That way there is no blade play. But in this, definitely a little bit, because the detent is so strong that you have to loosen the pivot a little bit to get there. And the happy middle ground between those two is so narrow that it's almost impossible. Wasted, there are a lot of things about this. I didn't put trash or garbage because I'm not fully ready to say that I dislike this blade, but I'm almost there. One thing is the jimping up here. They let you feel where the spine is, but they serve no real functional purpose. The jimping down here on the butt, that is actually usable. Because obviously you can see the different profiles in the jimping. These are much sharper, much grippier. Another wasted is the finger choil. Now, I am made quite more fond of finger choils of late than I used to be. I am dropping knives near where my feet are. That's not good. But I'd like you to notice something about this finger choil. All right? So focus, stay aware. It's different from that. It's different from that. And it's different from that. All of these blades have finger choils included into the actual steel of the blade itself. All three with one glaring difference. This is part of the butt. This part is unsharpened, and once again, this piece where your finger goes is completely unsharpened, therefore making it very large and comfortable for your hand. All of that show and tell to mention that this is just barely unsharpened. It is not part of the true edge, but it's a false edge almost. The big swoop ought to end right there, but instead the grind goes all the way to the flipper tab, including where your finger is supposed to go. I just tried to liner lock close a PM2. It's been a long day. So when you put your finger here, as you clearly are meant to do, it's so narrow, it's so thin, it hurts. It is half a step short of grabbing the blade itself, which is not good. Then the FRN handles, why not just go G10? Also, a little bit of over-design here. Not a huge fan of that. I do think it's interesting that this is a 4-position pocket clip, but of the 3 empty positions, only one of them gets a filler. Not a huge fan of that. I do like that the backspacer wraps around and becomes an integrated lanyard loop. I don't like lanyard loops, but I mean, it's a nice design. I do appreciate the little innovation there. The liner lock is fine. There's a little bit of a ramp, a little bit of a cutout to give you easy access to the lock. So basically what I'm saying is this is very close to being... There are a lot of good ideas here. This is very close to being a fine knife. I don't think, because the handle to blade ratio is so ridiculous, I don't think that I could ever truly love this thing, but it wouldn't be difficult for me to like it. But as it is, I can't. CRKT sells this for $50, Blade HQ for $32, Amazon for $27, and I bought this from Walmart for $27. It's fine-ish. Also, the paint on the blade, as I said, it only is available in this black coating, but it's not. It looks and it feels like paint. It doesn't look or feel like the diamond texture coating or whatever it is that they call it. You ought to be able to see the difference in that. One looking much cheaper done than the other. It looks like an M-Tech blade, almost. Like a Tacforce acrylic paint. I'm not sure. The handle is over-designed, the blade is under-designed, and there are good ideas, but none of them are coherent. Out of 10 stars, I give this a... just try again. That's ridiculous. If you have any questions, comments, or suggestions, let me know down below. And other than that, have a great day.